All right, all right. We got the jams going. It's Monday for our 7 o'clock live stream here on X, and we're also live on YouTube
and Rumble.
and Rumble. Oh yeah, we're fancy. And Rumble. And this is the Unrestrained Podcast. This is Isaac Galvez. And say hi to the people, Alfred.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Unrestrained Podcast, man. It's a lot to talk about today, man. It's gonna get off the hook. First of all, I want to thank everyone for joining. Also, remember that you can join if you're on X and you want to come in here and be part of our stream. Just let us know. We'll send you a quick link and you can participate. We are going fancy, man. We're going fancy. If you want to be part of it, fancy. It's gonna be, if you want to join, we'll send you a link and then you'll join right here. You'll be part of it. You can also join and calling us. There's a number directly, 714-464-0747. It'll ring in here. And we're in the studios in LA, bro. A lot of people say, you guys are not in LA. Yeah, we're in LA. It's considered the market of LA. All right.
That's right.
So we're here in the LA County, man.
Yeah, we're in an undisclosed location over here. Yeah, in Southern California.
That's right.
Yeah, guys. So those of you that are from out of state, I'm sure you guys have been hearing the rumors of Kamala Harris talking about running for governor.
Oh, goodness.
And that's a very scary thought, for sure, because Newsom's pretty bad.
Yep. I mean, the guy's slick. He can talk. He can. The thing is with Newsom, he can lie in your face, and with Kamala, she can't even make a sentence. So yeah, we're in a bad path here.
Yeah, I guess what you're saying, Alfred, is that at least Newsom can lie and deceive a lot of people.
Correct.
Kamala's just so bad that she can't even do that right.
Correct.
So, yeah. So it's kind of like, that maybe we have this all wrong, Alfred. Maybe we should want Kamala Harris because, if she were to win, maybe that'll do it. Maybe that'll wake up the people of California, just like like Joe Biden did, right?
Right.
Having a corpse for a president for 4 years, really did wake up and red pill a lot of people, got them out of the matrix. Maybe that's what we need. Maybe we need Kamala Harris to win here in California. I think we have this all wrong, Alfred, because two things need to happen. Either she needs to win, or we need to get a conservative. But maybe that's the strategy here. Maybe the strategy is, in California, we support Kamala to win, and because I don't know if the fires in Malibu are going to do the job. I don't really. Newsom still governor. I don't see any real recall efforts. Mayor Babbitt still, she hasn't been recalled. The cries for her head aren't very loud,
Exactly. Well, and to their credit, man, they're playing it right. I mean, think about it. Right, as soon as that happens, they brought in an agency that just started. They just started to plow through, and it's been working fine for them. But again, we're talking about California. So in California, unfortunately, it's a blue state.
Yeah. So I think maybe that's what we need. We need Kamala to be the governor of California. We'll have some years of that horrendous. I think at that point, Alfred, I think I'm out. So I'll have to remote in because I'll probably have to leave the state because I don't know if I can deal with that. But that's actually not what we're going to talk about. It just came to mind. I'm not that caught up, guys. So we have the time change here in California. So technically it's earlier than what it is.
6 o'clock.
But because you wake up earlier, I'm tired.
Yeah.
So I'm a little low energy, guys. Like, I need you guys to like, share, and subscribe, and comment, guys. Comment. We're live. So if you guys are on here, we'll go ahead and respond, and that'll get the energy up. Because remember, guys, we have a goal, and that is we want to go to the White House, and we need to have at least 100,000 views to even qualify, guys, before we can even, before we can even think of applying,
Mm-hmm.
we need to get 100,000 views. And then at that point, then maybe we can fill out the application, right?
Correct.
And then submit it. And then next thing you know, guys, you guys will see Alfred. I don't know how many people they allow. Alfred, we might have to fight for it. I don't know how many people they allow. Like, I think it's just one of us would have to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's okay, Alfred. I'll let you go. I'll watch.
Bro, we can take turns. I mean, I can 2 hours and 2 hours each. I mean, we'll be duking it out right there with with the Washington Post and all these CBS and all these lucrative media that the Marxist media. I mean, the line media. I mean, think about it, man. Two Latinos guys just sitting there, man, just with huaraches, just talking to talking to people and just say, hey, this is what's going on here,
Yeah,
straight from the hood.
That'll be fun. But yeah, guys, we're gonna I was gone all weekend, guys. I was off the grid. Spent a pretty good weekend with a bunch of guys at a shout out to Mariners Church. So I never heard of this church. So I got randomly invited. So a friend of mine was invited by a guy to go to this men's retreat out in the desert, and it was like guns, God, and guys.
Nice.
Right? And I'm like, dude, I'm in.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm in. So spent the weekend out there and it was pretty awesome. Pretty awesome, guys. So I got my fill of manly testosterone for like 3 days, man, of shooting guns out in the desert, hanging out with a bunch of dudes, a bunch of alpha males out there.
Right.
Man, we got hooked up with some food, man. Man, I should have sent you the clip of the spread we got, Alfred.
You should have recorded it, bro.
I do have it recorded.
Oh man,
I have it recorded. And yeah, man, they did that. So I've never been to Texas, but apparently Texas style barbecue. It's like they fill out this brown sheet of paper and they just stack meat on there. You tri-tip, ribs, pulled pork, sausage, just name it, guys. It's just all piled in there. And then the tables are just covered with a brown sheet, and then you just dump all the meat on the table, and then you just eat with your hands. No plates or none of that. So that was pretty awesome. That's how it's just a bunch of guys that are basically cooking for themselves,
right?
And doing all the planning, right? Because there's no way if there were any women involved that they would have allowed for that to happen, right? We would have had to have the nice fork and the plate, and the napkins. We had napkins, but would have been a whole different thing, So it's fun times. The other thing I learned, I know, and I will get to the news. I'm kind of killing some time here. The other thing I learned, Alfred, is how did I learn this? See, you guys have to understand. I have one son, and then I have 2 daughters and my wife, and then I'm the only boy. So I'm always surrounded by women. The women I have all women but one on my that work for me at work, that I manage. My team consists of all women. So I'm around women all the time. You know what I mean, Alfred? All the time. And so when I go hang out with guys again, where you're a room with a majority of guys, it's funny how the bantering, it's so much fun to clown each other.
Yeah.
It's so much fun to.
It's almost like going to camp. Remember when you were young, right? Teenagers, and you went to camp. You were hanging around with the guys, doing things. You know what I mean? Like
making fun of each other. People make fun of you. Like nobody takes it personal, right?
Yep.
We're not like like the Democrats, right? That they get their feelings hurt.
Yep.
Right.
I mean, what I didn't see, bro, is I did not see you guys all screaming in the top of the lungs and hitting wood and screaming in the top of your lungs. Were you guys doing that at any given point?
I mean, man, you could offend somebody and they don't take it personal. Somebody says something offensive to me and it's hilarious and fun. We all understand it's jokes, right?
Of course.
We all understand it's fun and it's jokes, and and nothing makes me laugh harder than making fun of people. And then actually, when somebody makes a funny, like they're talking about, I was watching a podcast where they were talking about the JD memes that are meant to
Oh,
be
yeah.
that are meant to be offensive, but they're
Yep.
actually hilarious,
Yep.
right? So I think a Democrat started that whole JD meme thing,
Yep.
probably, and it was probably a female
Mhm.
Democrat that probably thought that he would get offended, but actually JD himself finds it funny. He retweets them,
Right.
and then it's kind of now taking on the life of its own amongst conservatives because we could take a joke.
Yeah.
We think things are funny, right? And so it just backfires, guys. And so we'll get into the stories of the day, things that we're going to talk about. Well, obviously, we have to talk about the Dems TikTok video, which is ridiculous, but an
Golly.
example of they just can't do it like we can, man. When it comes to the meme game and things going viral, the Dems and the Libs they just don't have it, man.
Correct.
So Doge protesters, they're concerned, because federal workers, their feelings, they're afraid.
Mhm.
So we'll listen to that. Federal, uh, they're overwhelmed with stress. Musk will stay on Doge for another year, I guess.
Mhm.
He thinks that he can cut $1 trillion. Well, let's see. Let's make it happen.
I mean,
Elon.
just think about it. He has not touched Social Security,
Yeah.
or he hasn't touched the defense. So can you imagine if he's able to tap into that? And again, the libs are livid. They're having a hard time because again, I mean, think about it. Moderate Democrats, back when you and I mean, you and I 20
Mhm.
years ago, we were considered the Democrat Party. We were for small government. These Marxists nowadays, man, therefore they want to gloated a government, man, and they're livid. They're having a hard time accepting that we have an outside agency that is pretty much doing a quick evaluation on the government, and they're having a hard time.
Well, technically, it's not an outside agency. Let's
Oh,
just be
oh,
clear.
right. That's right.
That's
That's
not an
right.
outside agency.
That
It
is
is a
correct.
federal existing agency that was renamed Doge.
Correct.
Act Blue funding. There's a lot of what appears to be money laundering going on. We'll get into that. ICE arrests a Palestinian activist, Mahoud. I can't say it. Mahoud
Yep.
Khalil. Mahoud Khalil. And we'll show the video. So this guy, we'll play the video on that. We'll remind you guys of the. Turns out he was the ringleader. I think was it the Columbian University
Yeah.
when they were out there smashing doors. So we'll remind you guys on that story. But we'll talk about that. And then whistleblower alleges Meta considered using. I'm sorry. Using data. I'm sorry. Sharing data with China, sharing our the user data. So interesting because you don't hear the Democrats crying about this, right? They're so concerned about Elon um, having access to our data, our
Mhm.
social security numbers, and so on and so forth. But they don't seem to be outraged about this leak. So yeah, we'll get into this, guys. So I'm sure you guys have seen it, but we have to definitely give our opinion here. I have some thoughts on what's going on here with this TikTok video. Super ridiculous.
Golly.
How embarrassing these people. And keep in mind as we watch this, Alfred's pulling it up. This had to be approved by somebody. This is something that's a group of people brainstormed and somehow they decided this was going to be great, right? And then it was approved, and then it was posted. So this is just unbelievable. So let's go ahead. You got it ready there, Alfred?
Yep. Ready to go.
All right, let's go ahead and watch this ridiculous TikTok video.
Golly. Oh man.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys. So you know, the lady, the Asian woman with the pink coat,
Yep.
um, she looks like she's holding like the way she's standing, it's like she's holding a broom
Yeah.
and bouncing like she's got a broom. And you know, I don't know, Alfred. I'll let you give your thoughts on this. Um, but let's keep in mind, I'm not a gamer
Mm-hmm.
at all, so I don't really know what games are out there. I think this is supposed to be kind of like Street Fighter. That's the only thing I
Yep.
could think of.
Yep. Yep.
That's what it reminds me of. It's supposed to be, the Street Fighter, from back in the 90s. And,
Mm-hmm.
you would have your character, and then they would like you when you're choosing your character, like your fighter, they
Yep.
kind of move, they're kind of moving like that. Like that's what they're trying to replicate. I don't know if there's another more current video. I don't, I'm kind of an old guy and I'm not a gamer. So I don't know if there's anything more recent that I'm kind of it's going over my head.
Mm-hmm.
But if that is the case, if this is supposed to, I don't know how this appeals to like a current generation. Like who's their target audience here? I don't understand.
Well, I don't know if you guys recall, but for the most part, the Democrat Party has lost. They've lost a little bit of the edge with the young people. So they feel that that the anime and the anime and the Street Fighter, this kind of things. I honestly, I'm puzzled onto how this got into and approved and had all these. Come on, you got the AOC in there jumping and hopping, and you got all these other cringy, cringy movements from the Democrat Party. But you know what? This just leads to one thing, and I think that's we're looking at the current the state of the current Democrat Party. They've lost, not only did they're lost the ability to communicate a message, but now they've lost the ability to be creative. And so this here just shows us a little bit of what to come in the years to come. Is this the Democrat Party that will actually fight? Or or are we going to be continuing to see the Democrat Party, which we just saw about a week ago in Congress, not clapping for a young child that's defeated cancer, or even that, not clapping for the parents of Desiree Nagari, who was brutally murdered by an immigrant, not clapping, not standing, right? Or even that, not even standing for the women rights. Think about it. They all came in pink, right? Supposedly standing firm for women, for women's rights, and here they are not standing for anything that has occurred to women. You know what I mean? So I'm scratching my head when I see these videos, and I'm just saying, like, who approved these? Who approved this?
Yeah, so a couple things here. These are my thoughts on this whole video, guys. So clearly the message they're sending out is they are fighting. They're fighters,
Mm-hmm.
right? And they're going to fight for I don't know what. Okay, I mean the only thing we know they're interested in, because we saw in the I don't know what was it wasn't really the State of the Union, but the address to
Yep.
that Trump had, is that the only thing that they clapped for was the funding of Ukraine. So
Yeah.
maybe that's what they're saying. They're sending the message. Maybe this is their target audience is Ukraine, right? Hey guys, we're gonna fight to keep taking money from our citizens to give to you. We are going to continue to fight for you, Ukraine, because they're obviously not fighting for us, the American people,
Correct.
the people that they're supposed to be representing. So they're fighting against Trump. I guess that's the other thing they're saying out, right? They're fighting Trump. So, one of the things that I did like that Trump did mention on that address to the Senate from last week is where he said, I can find the cure to cancer and these guys still
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't care, right? I'm
Mm-hmm.
glad he finally said that, because one of the things that it really bothered me, it has bothered me about the Republicans and his first term, was that it seemed like he was still trying to make friends, be friendly, trying to find ways for the Democrats to actually work with him, like him, love him, whatever you want to say. But at least now we know he realizes, you know what, Trump, don't matter. Stop trying to please these people. There is no pleasing them. We don't care. They are no longer relevant, right? So that's great. That's great that Trump obviously recognizes that, and it seems to me like that's the approach he's taking, and that's the approach he should take, because realistically, that's what I voted him to do. I voted him to go in there and just just um just run over these guys.
Yep.
We don't care. I'm not interested in compromise. I'm not interested in compromise and with the Democratic Party. Okay, there you know what? There's no we've compromised enough. Okay, and we're at the point now where we're arguing about what is a woman and what is a man, and that's all because we compromised so much. And no, there's no more compromising. A man is a man and a woman's a woman, and that's what it is. Okay, that's
Correct.
just how it's gonna be. Okay,
Correct.
and Doge is gonna go in there and they're going to find fraud, and they're going to find abuse, and all the overspending, and that's just how it's going to be. Okay, that's the kind of attitude I want. That's what needs to happen. So anybody that out there that criticizes Trump as not being a unifier, you can't. These people don't want to unify. Okay, you can't unify. No, that's not what we're looking for, because there is no unifying with these people. Again, look at the video, guys. They're look at the message they're putting out there. Okay, they're not putting out a message of hope. They're not putting out a message of unification, right? Okay, so that's not the message they're putting out there. The other part to this is again, this is the problem with Democrats. Okay, Democrats. Hopefully, I can explain this. I'm trying. I have this in my head, but I haven't been sure how to like explain what I'm recognizing, or not even recognizing, but what the problem is for the Democrats. Okay, this is an example of everything that they do. Okay, so when you think about Democrats, they're big government. Okay, they are a big government. Government is the solution. Okay, and the other part is they know better than everyone else. Okay, we need to trust them. We need to trust the experts. Okay, so the experts guide our thinking. That's what they want, right? That's what guides their thinking. Okay, anytime that they want to sell us on something, it's like, you guys are too stupid. You don't understand. You need to just trust the expert. Experts say this, experts say that, right? And the government knows better. Okay, the professionals. Okay, so when you think about how is it that the conservatives, the conservative side, has been able to successfully have so much success in the social media, right? Why are the conservative side so successful in social media, having the memes and the viral videos, right? How have we been able to win the apparently we're winning the culture war, but and using the media as a tool. Well, unlike the conservatives, we believe in free markets, right? We believe in free markets and individual, in personal responsibility and unleashing the individual, empowering the individuals to go out there and do their thing, right? So when you think about all of these platforms that are considered, I'm not even going to call them conservative, non-democrat platforms. Okay, however we want to identify those, right? They're not part of the Democrat machine, right? They tend to support the Republican side, or let's say center right. Okay, all of these platforms were built organically. Okay, the Republican Party did not get together and decide we need to go out there and we need to start putting out TikTok videos, and we need to figure out how we can come up with these. They didn't start putting together, videos and podcasts, right? And they did not oversee the production. They did not plan it. They did not. They weren't involved in it. Okay, it's individuals like us that go out and we just have a certain point of view. And not to say that we're not Joe Rogan by any means. Joe Rogan didn't go out and start a political platform. That's not what his show is. Still not that, right? He just happens to talk about different topics, and it just turns out that as time has progressed, he has become more conservative, or let's say more in agreement with the Republican side, with the Trump. He went from being a never Trumper to now, he's been red pilled. The Charlie Kirks of the world, Charlie Kirk, he on his own started, the what's the name of his platform?
Turning Point.
Turning Point, right?
Yep.
He started Turning Point USA. That's not the Republican Party. In other words, what I'm saying is that the Democrats can't. They're being consistent with their worldview. Okay, guys. Do you get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They believe that they're the experts. They have to control. So this is just like everything else, right? They get a hold of an agency, they screw it up.
Yep.
Well, this is just another example, okay? They're now deciding that we need to find a way to be competitive. We need to have a presence. We need to replicate what the Republicans have done in their mind. The Republicans didn't do that, right? But what the conservative movement has done. So they're now out there putting out these TikTok videos, okay? Because it's not organic. This is something that people that are not qualified, just like there's no different than the mismanagement of any other agency. Okay, the mismanagement of COVID. I'm calling it mismanagement to be kind, right? We know that's not what it was, right? But
right.
but that's another, right? This is no different, guys. This TikTok video embodies everything the Democrats represent. This is the product that they put out. Am I explaining myself right?
100%, bro. I'm on board, bro. I'm just telling, like I mentioned it earlier. I mean, what you're saying is something that out there in the world of X. Think about it. We have the memes. We have meme machines, like the Dilly's meme machines, right? And we have all these things that are just going perfect for the conservative movement, right? I mean, think about it. We have Meme World, right? We have Cut Turd, all these people out there that are just very influential, right? They are impacting people. And some of you know who I'm talking about. And some of you out there that are paying attention are paying attention to this kind of videos are actually scratching your head like I am, like Isaac is. You know what I mean? We just do not recognize the current Democrat Party. And this right here just tells you how they're lacking, creativity, and how anything that they touch, it gets destroyed. Think about it.
I guess another way I can say this is this. It's the same reason why socialism fails, because they meddle into it, right? So again, the Republican Party. Let me back up. The conservative side, these platforms, these media outlets that are on, for a lack of a better term, on the side of MAGA, okay? Like Cat Turd, for example. Cat Turd is just a guy.
Yeah.
He's a guy that started a platform, and the guy's funny as hell, right?
Yep.
And so the free market has elevated him to being the Cat Turd that we know, right?
Yep.
He didn't have to try. It's just who he is. So because the conservative side is just doing what we value. Those are part of the values. We allow the free market. We allow people to go out. Excuse me. We're not looking to control creativity. We're not looking to dictate to content creators what to do, how to do it, what the content should look at like. And on the other hand, it makes sense that the Democratic Party would have these ridiculous TikTok videos, because they are the opposite of that. They are going to dictate to content creators what their content should be. That's what these socialist big government people do. This is That's just what they are. They wouldn't be what you does that make sense?
Of course.
I'm hoping I'm making sense, guys.
Bro.
Hopefully you guys can comment on this. I'm
send in your, hey, listen, by the way, if you're joining us, I know we got a large people that are joining us right now. Thank you so much for joining us. As you guys know, this is just two Latino guys that just say, hey, we're gonna hit X. I mean, not only did we get kicked out of TikTok, right? That's one of the primary reasons why you see us now on X, is because TikTok, bro. I mean, think about it. The free markets. Well, there's some places out in the there's some places out in TikTok, or even that certain places where, hey, you're not free to speak your mind. And so we welcome you. If you're coming to X from X, man, we're having a lot of people joining us from X, and thank you so much. But what Isaac is just talking about is something that you guys in the platform X have been experiencing. How, the Democrat Party, they're not for freedom of speech. They're not for having an open conversation. In fact, think about it. Everything that they do is just to shut down conversations. They only want you to see it one way, one narrative. And that's where they're failing. And that's why you're seeing this creativity, this stuff of product that they're throwing out there. I mean, it just makes any sense. But think about it. We got people creating, creating the FAFO, creating video contents, right? Think about it. You have somebody that created a song out of AI. Creativity. You know what I mean? It just flourished when there's free, when we're free, when we're free to speak and we're creative. It just allow us to just tap into our creativity. Well, these guys don't have that, man.
Yeah. Another way to put this TikTok video is the representation of of everything. Social Security. Let's take Social Security, right? The government needs to plan for our retirement. They need to take money out of our check so that, because they're smarter than we are, right? And so they can, we can't be trusted with saving for our retirement, right? So, guys, where are we at now with Social Security? It's going bankrupt, right? And I could do a better job with my own money. I can invest that money a lot wiser if I choose to invest it. If I don't want to invest it, I shouldn't have to. Neither should you. But anyways, the point being is that this TikTok video and how ridiculous it is the TikTok representation of all the government programs, all the policies that Democrats promote. Okay, all of their ideas. Okay, this TikTok video it encompasses all of that, right? So enough about that. Hopefully that makes sense, guys. When you think about it, it would only be natural that Democrats would put out something like this. So it's pretty hilarious. But yeah, guys, Doge protesters concerned about Fed workers' feelings. Okay, and we'll go ahead and let's see. We got an article here. This is on the NBC News.
When you wake up,
sorry about that.
Yeah, that's okay. The NBC News says you lose all hope. Federal workers gripped by mental health distress amid Trump cuts. So do we have a video on this one, Alfred?
Yep. Are we going into the NBC, which is this one?
Oh yes, I don't remember if that was a video or
I think because we skipped one. We skipped the one from the Elon Musk and the traumatic answer to the X. So the Doge, I believe.
Oh yes. Sorry.
Yeah.
My apologies, guys. I skipped. I threw Alfred off.
Yeah. No worries. No worries.
Let me. No, Alfred. No.
That's the one we haven't showed this video here. That's why.
No, Alfred. So yes, the story is the ABC. Federal Doge protesters concerned about Fed workers' feelings. That's the next story we have on the list here.
Perfect. Gotcha.
So yeah, that is the video you got right there, Alfred. Go ahead and play up. My apologies. So we got this crazy lady here addressing a college. That's my fault. I have my
all good.
My tabs all screwed up here, Alfred.
It's all right. So let's play this video and see what it says. Check it out.
when you wake up or when you're on your weekend and you get the fork in the road message, or you get the subsequent 5 bullets, hey, what the hell did you do, you lazy federal worker, this week? How frightening is it that someone on X, the owner of X, speaks to you directly to say, what did you do last week at work? And
Pause
if
it
you
real quick,
don't
Abby.
answer, I am going to fire you.
Okay, so let's just stop real quick because I want to call something out.
Sure.
So first, let's point out the lies that are being said here. Okay,
Correct.
the email did not call anybody a lazy federal employee.
Correct.
Okay, that's number one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I don't know if you guys agree or disagree, but if I got an email from Elon Musk asking me what I did last week for the last 5, I'd be pumped.
Yeah.
How exciting would it be, guys, to get an email from Elon Musk asking you, hey, I mean, and I don't even work for the government. If I got an email tomorrow from Elon Musk asking me what I did last week to tell him 5 things that I did last week, I'd probably be like, is this really Elon? And then I would list 5 things, no problem. Okay. I mean, not that I have to, no problem. And then I would follow by thanking him for the great work he's doing on Doge. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that's that. So she's lying because she's claiming the email said calling anybody lazy federal employees. And why are you afraid about Elon Musk emailing you? What's the problem, Alfred? But let's go ahead and hit play. Yep.
You. But even more egregious, the president comes out, the most powerful person in the land, and endorses that message. How do you think that makes federal workers?
So this woman does not understand that as a taxpayer, I don't care how guys, do you guys really care? You know, they're so tone deaf, Alfred.
Mm-hmm.
They don't understand that those of us that do not work for the government, us non-government employees, okay? This is everybody. My wife works for the government, okay, guys? So I'm not being a hypocrite here, okay? My wife is a rare government employee that actually cares because she's just wired that way, right?
Mm-hmm.
And obviously we're not saying that all federal, but generally speaking, okay, we're speaking in general. There's always exceptions to the rule, okay?
Mm-hmm.
My wife comes home every day, okay, complaining about her job and all the lazy people that work there, okay? Every single day, okay? And I'm a really bad husband, guys. I don't ask how her day went because I don't want to hear it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to sit there for 30 minutes listening every day the same gripes and complaints. Okay. So it's all understood that that federal workers, state workers, county workers, generally speaking, guys, are lazy. Okay. Compared to us, private sector employees who actually don't have a problem. It's not unusual for me to get an email from my boss asking me questions.
Mm-hmm.
You know, hey, where were you yesterday? You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Hey.
don't mind if you ask, right? It's kind of
Yeah.
like, hey, thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. I mean, somebody put it beautifully. I think in the Breakfast Club with Charlemagne the King, right?
The God he calls.
Yeah,
him.
he called himself the God, right?
Yeah.
So he joined. So this lady joins in and says, "Oh, everybody that's rambling and getting all offensive about this email, I took it a step further where I just went ahead and spoke out and provided my 5 things. And by the way, this is a good opportunity for me to speak out on what I do. Maybe it could help me to get a raise."
Right. Yes.
I mean,
yes, I did all these 5 things, and guess what? You're not paying me enough.
exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Good point, Alfred. But yeah, this reaction just proves how lazy, generally speaking, okay, how lazy government employees are, right? The nerve of your boss who, let's get it clear. Let's be clear, because she goes on to say that even worse, the president of the United States, who is the head executive. Okay, guys, that's like like the CEO of the company you work for, right? Or the president of the company you work for, you complaining about the president of your company having the nerve to send you an email and asking you what you did the last week, right? So what's the problem, right? This just they expose themselves, their mentality that they have. They don't need to answer to the president, okay? Like they don't need to answer to him. He is the head executive, okay? And they are part of the executive branch. They fall within the executive branch. So it's just crazy. So yes, anyway, so the crowd is just stupid. This is how stupid this crowd is, right? None of them stop to think and critically think, well, what's the problem here, lady? Why is this such a scary thing? I don't get it. But go ahead and hit play.
Feel when you wake up or when you're on your weekend and you get the fork in
I think this one is just a repeat.
No. Go ahead.
Oh,
Go ahead.
Okay.
the road message, or you get the subsequent 5 bullets. Hey, what the hell did you do, you lazy federal worker, this week? How frightening is it that someone on X, the owner of X, speaks to you directly to say, what did you do last week at work? And if you don't answer, I am going to fire you.
That was never said.
But even more egregious, the president comes out, the most powerful person in the land, and endorses that message. How do you think that makes federal workers feel? When you wake up or when you're on your...
So yeah, guys, I mean, truthfully, it is nerve-wracking when your boss or somebody above them, you know, at the executive level will send you an email. I get emails over the weekend. That's just normal. That's just right. An email from the it gets a little nerve-wracking. Like, hey, why are you asking? You know, especially when it's random. But it's part of life, people. It's part of being an adult. Okay, you deal with it. It's us in the private sector. This wouldn't even be a thing, right? It wouldn't be a thing. Why? Because we understand and we're thankful for having the job that we have. We understand that if we're that the person that signs our check, we have to answer to that person, right? So even if you're self-employed, okay, you still have to answer to your customers. They send you an email and ask you, hey, what the heck's going on? Guess what? You better answer it, right? So, because in that case, they're the ones that sign your check. Okay, that's just how it goes. But yeah, guys. So, excuse me. Yeah. So back to the article, NBC News, which I believe is the next tab you got there coming up, Alfred. It says you lose hope. Federal workers grip with mental health distress amid Trump cuts. In an interview with NBC News, many federal workers share stories of overwhelming stress, personal crisis, rapid weight loss, panic attacks, and more. You know, those are all things that if you've worked long enough and you've been an adult long enough, you've experienced those things, right? It's part of life. Like, I don't understand what they expect us to we're supposed to react like, yeah, oh gosh, let me keep paying more taxes and allowing you guys to, take my mismanage and pay people to not do anything. Potentially people are being paid that don't even work for us anymore. Like we don't know. And we're overpaying people. We're dead people. Who knows?
Correct.
Okay.
And that's exactly why Elon Musk said it. Come on, guys, we heard it. Some of us that are in the X environment, this is exactly what he said on some of the interviews. He said, "Listen, there's people within the federal government that are currently do not even answer email. Yeah. So what I'm doing is sending out a massive email. What the agencies are doing, right? The OMA, I believe, are the ones that are controlling the employees for the federal government. They're sending out these massive emails just to see if somebody's alive, if there's any pulse. Because at the end of the day, think about it. These people are not being, it's not like somebody has accountability and is keeping up with them. And it's over 60 days, 90 days that you don't hear from people. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so somehow they think that this is a great strategy to convince us that our taxpayer dollars, that those of us that work and pay taxes, you know, one of the things that never made sense to me, and I don't know if you guys kind of share this, has it ever made sense to you that federal workers or government workers that get paid with taxpayer dollars also get taxed?
Mm-hmm.
So then they get taxed too? Like, why not just pay them? I don't know, guys. Maybe I'm just dumb and I'm overthinking this. But why would we just not tax them and pay them less? Like that. It's never made sense to me, because the most ridiculous thing is when a federal employee says, or a government employee tells you that they pay taxes too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I pay taxes too. Yeah, but you don't generate wealth. You're not generating wealth. You're sucking it in, right? You're providing a service, right? And you're being compensated for that service, right?
Yep.
But in the public sector, you're being compensated for generating wealth. We
Correct.
generate revenue. We're generating the revenue. Okay.
Correct.
So somehow, Alfred, those of us that are out here grinding it every day don't have the cushy job that they do, right? Where up until now, it was a guaranteed life job with a great pension, the best benefits, the whole nine. Okay. Somehow we're supposed to feel bad and want to prevent their stress and suffering by continuing to just tolerate having our money going to potentially even paying. I mean, at the very least, we know we're paying people that have a problem with the person that we put in charge to represent us as the people to carry out our agenda. They have a problem with our representative asking them what they did for 5. So that alone already, okay, I have a problem with.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because hey, I'm paying you and you're not even thankful. Okay, on the other hand, those of us in the private sector, we're thankful for our jobs because we know we're not protected like that. We don't do a good job, we get fired, right? We're not going to have any Democratic Party suing to our employers to not fire us, right? Like what we got going on over here, right?
Correct.
We don't get it like that.
That's right.
Right. So I mean, there is some things. Coincidentally, this weekend there was a guy there. Interesting guy, was a former Secret Service guy, and also works for the FDA, which but he's in the enforcement side. So I asked him, hey, did you get the email from Elon Musk asking you what you did for the last 5 days? And he did. And he was annoyed. But I understand his case because he doesn't sit at an office looking at emails. He's out on the field kicking doors down.
Oh, got you.
Okay.
Understood. Yeah, it's not like he's sitting in an office on one of those empty buildings, right? He's out there.
He's out on the field kicking
doors down. I got you.
Yeah,
I could understand that.
So I mean, okay. In his case, I get it. He did reply. He said he replied to the email, but they keep sending them. So, and then I guess he said they were told they don't have to reply anymore. So they got to get that squared away.
Of course.
But yes, we could use some common sense.
But this is the first step of Elon. And remember, this is just something that, again, the agency is trying to do. I mean, come on now, guys. It's a simple email. But this is causing stress. And by the way, everyone that's just joining us right now, I know X is off the hook. Thank you so much. I want to thank everyone that we're, some of the team are going into different pages, and we want to thank everyone that's allowing us to plug in. So if you're joining us from the platform of X, please do us a favor. Please join us. Be part of it. Go ahead and turn on the notification So when we're in here every Mondays at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, we're streaming live from LA. So some of you that are saying, "Hey, nothing good can come out of California." Well, listen, we're here in Southern California, baby. We are the remnant here, and so we're in an undisclosed location from Southern California.
Yep.
So we want to thank everyone for joining us and being part of the stream, man. Thank you. Look, it's growing. The number's growing, so we're thankful. Thank you for joining us. But please, follow us and subscribe and turn on the notifications so you can get notified. All right.
Yeah, so Alfred, let's play the video here. I forgot that's what we were doing on this one.
Yep.
We're full-time workers, guys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, I put this, I work today, and then like
Yeah,
the last
he did
hour
12
I'm
hours,
researching
and I'm like,
stuff.
hey, bro, come on. And, like an hour away, he sends me the links, and
This
he's
is
like,
what we're talking
let's
about. So go ahead and let's hit play on this one.
That's it. Let's do it. Hold
Oh, we need sound.
on. Sound.
Multiple government agencies. Tell us more about your conversations.
Right. You really highlighted some of the most compelling stories. And when there's a veteran affairs suicide prevention officer who's having his own thoughts of suicide, that we're in a crisis. And I thought these stories helped illustrate what people are going through right now. And what so many of these workers wanted to get across was it's not just about losing a job. It's about watching people dehumanize them, denigrate them, try to embarrass them, denigrate what they do for a living when they are trying to give it their all. In some cases, these people are saying they're trying to keep veterans alive. Talking to them on the phone or in person, doing intervention, and then, watching Donald Trump golf for the weekend and say, well, these workers are lazy. They're not coming into work, and they're saying, "Wait, no, you don't understand what I just did." So it was a lot of stories like that. I think the other point that a lot of them wanted to get across was some of them, actually all of them, supported getting rid of waste and fraud. But they're watching very carefully how this is playing out, and they're saying that's not what's happening. The way this is happening is chaotic. It's haphazard. They're getting rid of people who are very experienced, who in many ways are some of the best, and they're watching them leave and crush them financially.
Yes.
Well, she's not the easy.
I was thinking about as she was there talking. If you guys remember in 2008 financial crisis, because remember when there are these financial crises, okay, the financial crises don't exist. Recessions, and financial crashes. Federal employees are like immune to this. Okay, generally most government employees, it's not anything they've ever been impacted by, right? So, excuse me. It's ridiculous to me, and I guess maybe understandable, that this is their first time. This is their first time experiencing what the private sector experiences pretty much every 4 to 8 years, or recession cycles. They never have recessions. So I was reminded of this article here. I pulled it up, the New York Times, back in 2008, right? Because remember, she's talking about this man, that's having mental issues and thoughts of suicide, apparently, right?
Correct.
Happens all the time in the private sector, all the time. And I'm not saying that it sucks. Okay, I'm not being mocking here. I'm not trying to mock anybody. Okay, but these things happen. But that does not mean that we don't do it, that we don't cut. And this whole thing about, it's how he's doing it. It's how they're going about it. Okay. We put that on the Democrats for creating a bunch of weak-minded people. Okay. And again, guys, look, I don't want to sound insensitive, but yeah, I pulled the story. Sorry, I'm rambling. But Los Angeles man, okay, in a suicide note. This was the 2008 financial crisis. Karthik Rajaram wrote at he had considered killing only himself. Okay, this is the man that not only killed himself, but killed his wife and his 3 sons and mother-in-law in their bedrooms. Okay. This was on a weekend, and then it says, I'm gonna go ahead and read the article. Mr. Rajan, 45, shot his wife, 3 sons, and mother-in-law in their bedrooms over the weekend. The police said then shot himself. The police found him on Monday on the floor of a bedroom, and his youngest son's shared room. So they were close to each other. On Tuesday, friends and colleagues said they were stunned to learn that of the killing and killings and unaware of the family's financial problems. The police said that in one of his 2 suicide notes, Mr. Rajam said that he was broke, having lost most of his assets and plummeting stock market. The police said he had been planning to kill for the killings for weeks. Okay, so where were you guys at for you know what I'm saying, Alfred? Like
exactly.
This is what happened. This happens all the time in the private sector.
Correct.
I mean, in the private sector, right?
Mm-hmm.
These things happen. It sucks,
Yep.
but it's a part of life. And for them to be all dramatic here, like, God, does that sound bad that I'm crying? Because it is. Like, you're not gonna get any sympathy from us. You know what I mean, Alfred? Like, you're not gonna get any sympathy from me for these things. And first of all, they're such liars that this person's mental problems might have nothing to do with this, right? It could be totally, because they're such liars. So we can't even trust them to begin with because they lie all the time, right?
Mhm.
But even if it was true, okay? Even if it was true, really, we're supposed to just keep, irresponsibly paying for people that don't do a job just because we're worried about them killing themselves. Come to think of it, isn't this the same strategy they've used on parents to get them to go along with transitioning their children,
Mhm.
giving them hormone blockers because they fearmonger them into believing that if they don't do it, that they'll commit suicide? I just thought that's exactly what they're doing here now, right? We cannot fire any federal employee, guys, because otherwise they'll kill themselves.
Yeah. And but this is what they do. Think about it. Just roughly last week, how didn't we see approximately 6 or 7 federal employees going to MSNBC or CBS and giving their story on how they felt like they were being attacked, for a simple email. Think about it. These guys have never been in an audit before. I mean, think. Some of our departments, some of our government agencies have failed audits for 7 years or years. So now that they're bringing in and just exposing some of these things, we call it some pretty much. I mean, think about it. Every year, Isaac, every year, don't you have to go in front of your front of your boss and do a what's it called, the one-on-one, what's it called?
Yeah. I mean, you do like weekly, monthly one-on-ones with the people that work for you. I do it, and then I have to do that with my boss. Yes, you do yearly meetings, kind of like a State of the Union type thing, but for the company, that sort of thing. But yeah, guys, I mean, this is all normal stuff. It's all normal stuff, right? You have meetings every week. Kind of, this is what's going on. This is what we're doing. These are the problems we have. These are the solutions that we're looking at. All that sort of stuff, right? So I don't know, man. This just goes to show they just give themselves away more, that they don't do anything.
Correct.
Because why are you good? It's like, man, I'm trying to think of an analogy of, let's say, I guess an analogy would be somebody who tells you that they're a fighter, right? Let's just say that they say they're a fighter. Let's just say they say they're a UFC fighter or an MMA guy,
Right.
But then all of a sudden, they just start complaining about little boo-boos and scratches.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd be like, bro, really, bro? But I thought you were a UFC. I thought you were an MMA guy. You're always complaining about the, like, oh, you stub your toe or you hit your head in the door, and you know what I mean?
Yep.
And you would start questioning, like, bro, are you really? are you really? I would think you're used to getting punched in the face. Getting kicked in the shins.
Yep.
That doesn't make sense. Or maybe you try to go apply for a job claiming that you have experience in construction work.
Right.
But then your rhetoric doesn't match up. Because first you look at your hands, there's no calluses in your hands. You're like, man, they're looking kind of feminine. They're looking a little soft.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I mean, like my hands. You know what I'm saying? I got some callus in there just from weightlifting, but
the weights.
But if I worked as in construction, I mean, my hands would be for real callous, and not just the little balls in the hand, right? I mean, my whole palm would be my fingers, all the whole deal, right?
100%.
And I wouldn't be complaining about small labor tasks, right? Because I'd be used to it. Anyways, maybe that makes sense. But anyhow, moving on, guys. So Doge Chief Musk says he's running his businesses with great difficulty as Tesla shares tank, right? But the good news is that he says here in this interview that he had, but I'm going to read the article. He had an interview today on Fox, I believe it was. But this is a CNBC article that I'm reading here, that he plans on sticking around for another year because he really believes that they can, we can cut $1 trillion. But Doge chief Elon Musk said Monday that he's running his businesses with great difficulty as his shares of his automotive firm Tesla suffered their worst drop in half a decade. And his social media company X experienced several outages, right? So, we'll talk about the alleged cyber attacks. But Musk also said during the interview on Fox Business that he expected to remain in the Trump administration for another year. Tesla stocks have fallen every week since Musk joined the Trump administration and the head of Doge, which he engaged in a broad, controversial effort to reduce federal government spending and employee headcounts. The electric vehicle company has lost more than 50% of its market capitalization equals to nearly $800 billion. It will be fine long term, Musk wrote in a tweet replying to a post on X that noted Tesla's biggest single day drop, the single day drop in history. So, this is when you see this, these accusations about Elon, trying to enrich himself. He wants more money and more power. How's that working out for him right now, Alfred?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, 100%.
It's not working out too great, right?
Nope.
On Monday, Musk said there are currently more than 100 people on Doge's team positioned in nearly every government agency. He said that the number might increase to 200 unless we're stopped, which the Democrats are working very hard to do. We will get to $1 trillion of savings, Musk predicted. The Musk estimated savings have been challenged, and Doge has deleted some of the largest purported savings that it listed on its website. Oh, I didn't know that. So it sounds like some of that's been deleted, right? Because they've been challenged. Since Doge began its efforts, federal government employment fell by 10,000 jobs in February, according to data released Friday by the Bureau of Labor. In addition to Tesla and X, Musk's other businesses include the space exploration company SpaceX and neurotechnology company Neuralink. Oh, that's right. Anyway, so the rest I'll spare the rest of it. But guys, Elon is making a lot of sacrifices to be out there doing this. I mean, the guy's getting death threats. His the stock on his companies are plummeting. And somehow this is some ploy for him to get richer. It's not a very good ploy. And
and where? I mean, I'm hearing this all the time. I'm hearing this from people out there in the streets, the Sora funded, things. Think about it, man. His dealerships are getting attacked. You know what I mean? They're being put on fire.
Yeah.
Like the guy is out there just doing what he was called to do, what he was mandated to do by the president of this nation. You know what I mean? Just expose the corruption, and this is what he's doing via Doge, and the guy is getting hammered. I mean, I'll think about it. His security title has grown. I mean, the people that he's paying to keep him safe has grown. I mean, it doesn't make any sense, the narrative that they're throwing out there, that this guy's making money, but when in fact he's losing money just to speak his mind, just to be free like you and I. It makes no sense.
Yep. Yeah, so we got this clip because he was also during that interview where I think we got the clip here where he talks about a little bit about the cyber attack, Alfred. So go ahead and pull that up. This was the interview that we just read, that's referred to on the article I just read on Fox Business. On Fox Business. Yeah, so go ahead. We'll play the clip here as soon as you get it up, Alfred.
Okay, give me 1 second. Let me just coordinate it here. Perfect. Okay, there we go. We'll play it. Here we go.
Another thing, everyone's attacking you for your position. What are you doing in the government? There was a cyber attack on X today, which shut it down and may have been foreign sourced.
Yes.
It's a big story. You want to give us a moment on that?
Well, we're not sure exactly what happened, but there was a massive cyber attack to try to bring down the X system with IP addresses originating in the Ukraine area.
Oh, well, so that's your suspicion. Is the website, is the internet up? Is it up yet?
It's up, yeah.
It's up yet. Okay, good. But I just was looking back. Let me go see if I get this right.
That's pretty much it.
Another thing, everyone.
So my understanding is just because it has IP addresses in Ukraine doesn't mean it was Ukraine. It could have been from anywhere in the world. I mean, this could be. So it doesn't necessarily mean it's Ukraine. I mean, this could be.
I mean, they could be using a VPN, right? And they can jump into one server. I mean, right now with technology, it can hit anywhere.
Yeah. So,
but I'm sure technically he could track. I mean, he's got some of the smartest people out there, so I'm sure he was able to track down exactly where these IP addresses or where these attacks can be coming from.
Well, the one thing he did say that it's not just a small group, that it had to have been in order to be able to hack into a system like X or SpaceX,
Correct.
the big companies like that, that this is probably a government or a large group, right? So, I mean, it could be anybody, guys. So, I mean, this is the kind of stuff that he's exposing himself to.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, if we use some logic, he's already the richest man in the world. He's on track to be the first trillionaire in human history. I mean, the man's working towards, getting to the moon, right? I mean, to Mars.
Correct.
And it just doesn't make any sense that he wants, I need more power. Let me get into these agencies. And again, remember, guys, he owned PayPal. He started PayPal.
Correct. Yep.
So this whole stupid thing about having access to Social Security, he already had access to your bank accounts, through PayPal.
Correct.
He has access to a bunch of data, not just through X and also Tesla. Tesla collects data. It's a computer. I mean, Tesla knows where, if you have a Tesla, Elon knows where you go. He knows your schedule. Okay. I mean, he doesn't need to be doing these things to, I don't know, for whatever reason, they think that he's going to do something with their Social Security number. All of a sudden, he's going to get into identity theft or something. Like, it just makes no sense. But anyhow, guys, thank God for Elon Musk and the things that he's doing. And keep up the good work there, Elon. If you're, why don't you guys share this, and then we'll get so many views.
Just tag him
and maybe
him on there, man.
Tag Elon on there.
Think about it, man. We're just, like I said, we're in LA. We're just telling you, we're in Southern California, Elon, and we're just so thankful and grateful for everything.
Yeah, we're thankful, Elon. So make sure you guys tag him on there, share this, and then maybe it'll work its way to Elon, and then we'll get a message back. Maybe I'll get an email, and then I'll find out how scary it is. How scary it is to get an email from Elon Musk, right?
Well, first of all, if we actually get a response back from Elon, man, that we will reach our 100,000 mark that we're rushing.
That's right, guys. That's the fast way to do it.
Fast way to do it. If we tag him and he tags us back and he tags us and he just responds, man. the 100,000, and you're gonna see the 2 Latinos out there at the White House, bro, right in front of MSNBC and everybody. Just we're reporting live from here, man, from the White House here for the media.
Yeah. So, yeah, next door we got up here is Natalie Winters, guys. Natalie Winters reports on Act Blue.
Oh man,
right. I'm sure you guys are hearing this already.
Yeah, this is out of control.
So, yeah, Natalie Winters posted here a multi-billion-dollar network of far-left NGOs responsible for helping illegal aliens makes it to the U.S. and hotlines exposing ICE raids let me start over. Responsible for helping illegal aliens make it to the U.S. and hotlines exposing U.S. raids rely on its firm's financial infrastructure. The following organizations are all listed as current funding partners of Act Blue. Many of these groups are actively opposing the Trump administration's immigration agenda with lawsuits and protests and advocate for the abolition of all detention centers, right? So if we pull these up, Alfred, if you just click, I don't know if it'll make it, but if you click on just one of that one right there, I think that's the one I have up. Just to quickly look at this list, right? We've heard of some of these companies. These were all conspiracy theories before, okay?
Correct.
But now we know it's true, okay? Catholic Charities Lake Charles, Catholic Charities of Northern Nevada, Catholic Charities of Southern Nevada, Catholic Charities, a lot of Catholic Charities of Rio Grande Valley, a lot of Catholic charities. Just interesting, right? Again, we've been hearing about, all of these NGOs. Let's see what else we got. We got Migrant Solidarity Mutual Aid Network, Carolina Migrant Network, Justice of Migrant Women, Migrantes Unidos, Community Health Workers Coalition for Migrants and Refugees. I mean, the list goes on and on, guys. So just like everything else, all of these are just fronts, Democratic fronts that are out there being funded by us. Okay. Us, this is where your tax money is going, guys. Again, we need to be more worried about the feelings of these federal workers, right? Than we are about all this crazy stuff that's going on. But yeah, guys, Act Blue. So, we're going to find out more. Those of you that don't know what Act Blue is, but it's the fundraising arm of the Democratic Party. So the Act Blue we normally would say raises a lot of funds, right?
Correct.
But what it really looks like is
it's funneling money.
It's laundering a lot of taxpayer dollar and funneling it right into the Democratic. Well, it hasn't been confirmed. I don't know if it has, but we know for sure funding these NGOs. And we expect that if it hasn't already, well, it's going to prove that a lot of these protests and a lot of campaigns are funded by Act Blue. Well, we know Government Newsom, his campaign is funded by Act Blue, right? And that's all being funded probably with a lot of taxpayer dollars. We talked about on one of the podcasts, we showed the website for the LA Fire Department during the fires at the Malibu, where they were directing people to go into to fund, send donations to, and it would take you right into Act Blue. Okay. You'd go into the LAsheriff.gov, I think it was.
Correct.
Something along those lines. You go in there and then you go donate and you'd click on that and it takes you right to Act Blue. And you think you're sending donations to help the people, victims of the Malibu fires and all the other ones that took place here. But really what's happening is that money's going into the coffers of the Democratic Party.
100%. And they're doing it in a sense where it's a percentage. This is what they do. A certain percentage of your funds, let's say it's a 3.3% of whatever, 10%, right? Or whatever you're giving the amount. So some of that money, it gets thrown back to the meat grinder to fund all these NGOs to help and support whatever kind of cause that they're doing.
Yeah, guys. So going along the same theme is, we know that a lot of these protest, which we're seeing less of it, and that's one of the theories is allegedly is because the funding's been cut off, right?
Mhm.
But yeah, you guys read this headline: ICE arrests Palestinian activist Mahmoud
Mahmoud.
Mahmoud
Mahmoud Khalil.
Khalil. Okay, so yeah, if we'll remind you guys who this guy is, but I'll read the article. This is on NPR. ICE arrests Palestinian activist. He's the guy that helped lead the Columbia University protest. If you guys go back when this was going on the podcast, we were saying use some common sense. Okay, guys. And we'll remind you guys, this is the where they broke into one of the buildings, they occupied it. This was during the pro
We got the video.
yeah, but what's
Pro Hamas.
yeah, pro Hamas,
pro Palestine,
pro Palestine.
Correct.
Occupations or
Correct.
protests were taking place.
Correct.
And we were talking about it. Well, let's play the video. We played this video and we said, isn't it interesting? I don't remember if it shows it on this video where they had the lock. They locked the door in a chain. They just happened to have the right tools. Right.
Yeah, they happen to have the hammers. They happen to have everything there
they needed
available that they needed. Correct.
Right.
So let's play.
Well, yeah, let's play this video and you guys can remember what we're talking about.
Right?
Yeah.
They even got the block, right?
Oh, that's interesting. I don't know if you caught that, Alfred. That's interesting. So this one's different. This is a different.
Sorry.
This is the event. So did you guys notice that the guy with the camera came out and somehow knew the next step is they're going to lock the door.
Correct.
Yep. So I thought that was interesting. He came out, positions himself to capture the moment when they were putting the door in, right?
Correct.
They knew this was so. Anyhow, the point being, hopefully you guys remember. See, this is for those of you that haven't been red pilled. This is how you got to look at this stuff. You look at it and use your common sense. We watched this and we said, isn't this interesting? They have a lock that works perfectly for those handles. They had a hammer to break. They have everything they need, right?
Exactly.
This are supposed to be random, spontaneous, organic protests, right?
Correct.
But if that were real, you happen to have the right tools. You happen to have everything you need to execute, this plan, right? And that is to occupy that building and lock it up, right?
Correct.
Well, now we know that yes, again, we were right because this guy is Mahmoud or whatever his name is. Mahmoud
Khalil.
Mahmoud Khalid. He was one of the guys that organized this. So it says, and now they're deporting him. It says federal immigration authorities arrested Palestinian activists Saturday who played a prominent role in Columbia University's protest against Israel, a significant escalation of the Trump administration's pledge to detain and deport student activists. Whatever his name is, Khalid, a graduate student of Columbia until this past December, was inside the university-owned apartment Saturday night when so he was still living in an apartment. I think that, okay, we'll read on.
Right. Yep.
University-owned apartment Saturday night when several immigration and customs enforcement agents entered and took him into custody. His attorney, Amy Greer, told the Associated Press. Oh, shoot. Sorry, I lost my place here because I hit the wrong button.
Greer said?
Yeah, Greer said she spoke by phone with one of the ICE agents during the arrest, who said they were acting on State Department orders to revoke Khalid's student visa. Informed by the attorney that Khalil was in the United States as a permanent resident with a green card. The agent said they were revoking that instead, according to the lawyer, which is the right thing to do.
Correct.
Because you're here as a guest. So you're here as a guest. We don't need to be having any problem. A spokesman for the Department of Homeland Security, Tricia McLaughlin, confirmed Khalil's arrest in a statement Sunday, describing it as being in support of President Trump's executive order prohibiting anti-Semitism. Now, this is where I kind of part ways. I've said this before. This is where these things cross the line, and what I'm referring to is calling this anti-Semitism. Okay, I do not agree that being pro-Palestine, okay, is anti-Semitic. I do not agree that criticizing the Israeli state for their actions, whether you agree or not, is anti-Semitic. Okay? You know, I'm not one of those people that buys into the J's rhetoric. Okay?
Yep.
That they're to blame for everything. Okay? I've heard it all. I get it. But where I do agree is that it's pretty daggone obvious there's a different standard. I'm a Christian and I understand what the Bible says, you know, that those who support Israel will be blessed, right? But it doesn't mean support them blindly. That's where I need somebody to explain that to me. Okay? Give me a biblical argument, because that I believe in the authority of Scripture. And so I need to understand where it says that we are to blindly follow them, as if they're immune from doing any kind of evil or committing mistakes. Okay. So I just had to get that out of the way, because this anti-Semitism phrase to me is being used the same way racist gets used. Everybody's a racist. Okay. If I say anything like the problem with in the Black community is, you know, fatherless homes,
You're racist.
I'm a racist. Right?
Yeah, 100%.
So anti-Semitic is being used exactly the same way.
Correct.
Anyhow, moving along. Khalil's arrest in the first publicly known deportation effort under Trump's promised crackdown on students who joined protests against the war in Gaza that swept college campuses last spring. The administration has claimed participants forfeited their right to remain in the country by supporting Hamas. So I won't read the rest of it. You guys can read it on your own. But the bottom line is that I am all for, taking away the, I just agree with this. I disagree with what seems to be the targeting of this policy against people who are protesting against Israel. And I don't disagree with getting rid of this guy, don't get me wrong, but I want to see it be applied both ways. In other words, if we start having somebody here who's on a green card, I'm not saying they can't protest, but if they start doing equal, because they weren't protesting, this was a occupation.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
But if you just replace them with a protest against Palestine and they did the same exact thing, I would want the same actions taken.
Correct.
Okay. That's all I'm saying. Okay. If we start having protests against Palestine and we find out that the person leading it or participating in it is, they're causing damage to property, the whole deal, right? They're inciting violence, if you will, right?
Correct.
But they're supporting Israel. No, I want that. I want that guy gone too. Okay. So that's what I want to say about that. this is where I'm getting concerned, and it's becoming pretty obvious that we want to be careful, guys. I want to say that we're being tricked into supporting something that it's not really what we think.
Correct.
Right.
And we've seen it in the past.
Yeah.
And so I agree 100% on what you're saying. And I think it's right. I mean, as far as now, over the last couple of years, we did see an unbalance of justice, right? Remember, for the J6, committee or whatever it was. Think about it. We had an insurrection, right? I mean, at the Capitol. So I agree with you. I think, we need to be careful. And when we're having, our rights or the rights of freedom of speech, in general, think about it. Pro-life. I mean, think, some of the people that were in pro-life, what did they do?
Yeah.
These were grandparents and older folks that, I mean, the old lady that got, approximately, I think it was like 20 years or something. And she's 71, 72.
Yeah.
Just for sitting and praying in front of Planned Parenthood. Now that's another way to, unbalance, the judicial system. Well, this could be the same way. You know what I mean? It could happen the same way. So yeah, I agree with you. We just got to be careful.
Yeah, this is a debate that, I mean, it's something that I don't know if I fully have. I mean, first off, I'll confess I haven't spent enough time to really think about like where I'm going to land on this position. But just, thinking out loud, you're here on a green card. You're not a citizen of the United States.
Correct.
You're here as a guest.
Mhm.
You're here legal status, right?
Mhm.
So I would say, is it fair to say that you're a guest here in our state, and you're, if you're here on a work visa, if you're here on a green card, you're here as a guest.
Correct.
Okay. Now I don't know. I think we need to. I'm not a constitutional expert of any, not even remotely, but I guess this is something that needs to be addressed.
Correct.
Right? Does the Constitution, do those rights apply to non-citizens? Okay? Because if you're here on a visa, you're not a citizen,
Mm-hmm.
right? You're
Well, what's true? It's true what you're saying, but at the same time, remember, we gotta, when you do apply for visas, I mean, think about it. The federal government does expect you to follow rules and laws. I mean, they don't want you to break laws or in this particular case, I mean, the guy was breaking windows and he was creating a mob into a particular, college campus.
no, I
So,
understand, but I
know?
guess the argument, Alfred, is okay. So if you're here on a green card, you're considered a resident, right?
Correct.
Not a citizen. Your title
You're a
is
resident.
a resident,
Correct.
right? Means you just reside here,
Correct.
but you're not a citizen, right? So what's the distinction there constitutionally is what I want to know. Okay. Now I'm going to assume, unless I'm told any different and somebody educates me where it makes sense.
Well, I hope somebody
And-
on X, if anybody in there that is
and-
paying attention, let us know.
And somebody can explain to me how the Constitution affords those rights to a resident, right? The Constitution and our rights that are given to us are applied to citizens only, is what I would assume.
Correct.
Okay. So if that's the case, then the argument can be made that if you're a citizen, you don't even have the right to protest. You don't even have the freedom of speech, right? Your speech isn't protected by the Constitution if that's the case, right? Is what I'm getting at, right?
Mhm.
So, yeah, if that's the case, then I think that the government needs to do a better job of making that distinction, right? And we need to make that clear distinction, and we need to make sure that that we're using that to prevent non-citizens from causing harm and chaos and disorder within our country.
Well, that's exactly what's going on, right? I mean, yeah. I mean, granted, I mean, this is a green card, right?
Right.
I was just in my mind, I was just thinking about those people that are committing murders, like for example, Lincoln Riley, right? But these are people without
Yeah,
any,
those are easy ones,
yeah, easy,
Alfred. That's an
correct.
easy one,
Yeah,
right?
correct,
I mean,
yeah.
citizens don't even have the right to murder, okay?
Correct.
So that we don't even need to question them.
correct.
Stealing, murder, you don't even have the right to do that as a citizen,
Correct.
okay? But I'm just talking about, our fun, the freedom to bear arms, right? Our constitutional rights, right? The freedom of speech, your freedom to assemble. All of those rights are not afforded. I don't know. I need to know this. If the answer is no, they are not, which to me it does not. It starts by we the people who are of the United States of America, right?
Correct.
So, to me, it just implies that it only applies to American citizens. So, if you're a resident, right, or if you're here on a visa, if you're just basically not a citizen, you don't have those rights. Again, this is why I'm okay with this. I just want to make sure that we keep our eyes peeled, because this should be implemented and applied regardless of whether they're pro-Israel or not. That's what I'm getting at, right? So, yeah. I mean, I want this in a smaller infraction. I mean, if I'm, I don't know, if somebody is out there, in a small protest, demanding more pay, I would even make the argument, if you're not a citizen, you need to get out, bro. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't be out there demanding more pay, or even if you're not a citizen. And again, I'm going to go with the assumption until I'm educated any differently. I'm going to assume that the Constitution doesn't afford you those rights. I don't even think you should be allowed. Yeah, you shouldn't be allowed to protest, be a part of a union, none of that stuff. You're not a citizen. That is not a right or that you're afforded. You're not. It's not protected for you. And I guess the reason it doesn't matter, because do we want people that are not citizen affecting even policy, pay,
Well,
that sort of stuff?
apparently that's one of the things that the Democratic Party want.
Yeah.
Think about it. In New York, they're already ramping up that we should allow, non-citizens, or even that people with the green cards, to vote. And I think they're, they do, the Democrat Party, they do want, these people to have those rights.
Right.
So,
yep. So anyhow, moving along, guys. Last story here that we want to go over. Zuckerberg, Meta considered sharing user data with China. This is a whistleblower that alleges this. Meta went to extreme lengths, including developing a censorship system in a failed attempt to bring Facebook to millions of internet users in China, according to a whistleblower complaint. So interesting, guys. Remember, we're supposed to be worried about Elon Musk, okay? And the data that he's going to collect. So now this whistleblower comes out. Let's see, is the media going to put that same kind of energy, right? Are they going to fear monger the people on Zuckerberg, right? Who we have a whistleblower. So that's evident. There's no evidence of any claim that they're making regarding that's how the liberals are, right? Anytime you make a claim, where's the evidence? Mm-hmm. Where's the evidence?
Correct.
Alfred, where's the evidence that the vaccine doesn't work?
Correct.
Right? Where's the evidence that masks don't work? Right? Where's the evidence? So, they say these things about Elon with no evidence, but here we have some evidence in the form of whistleblower making a claim that Zuckerberg was out there trying to make a deal with China to give them their data. So Meta, as the article goes on to say, Meta was willing to go to extreme lengths to censor content and shut down political dissent in a failed attempt to win the approval of Chinese Communist Party and bring Facebook to millions of internet users in China, according to a new whistleblower complaint from the former global policy director. He was so this guy was a policy director.
Correct. At
the company. The complaint by Sarah Wynne Williams, who worked on a team handling China policy, alleges that the social media giant so desperately wanted to enter the lucrative China market that it was willing to allow the ruling party to oversee all social media content appearing in the country and quash dissenting opinions. So, this takes us back to the interview. Do you guys remember the interview with Joe Rogan? Okay, I should have pulled the clip so we can all remember what he said. Right? He said he was being forced
Correct.
by the U.S. government, right?
Correct.
And he was making it seem like he was the victim. He was the victim of not only the U.S. government but foreign governments.
Correct.
Right? Forcing them to censor people. That's what he was saying on Joe Rogan. And he was also making it seem like, hey, we need the government to protect us from foreign governments.
Correct.
Right? So here we are, guys. Now we got this we are alleging. No, he was out there trying to, hey, Xi Jinping, what do I need to do to get access to your market? I'll give you whatever you want, right? We'll give you access to everybody's profiles, content, right? So that you guys can censor free speech in your country. It's crazy. Meta then called Facebook developed a censorship system for China in 2015 and planned to install a chief editor who would decide what content to remove and could shut down the entire site during times of social unrest, according to a copy of a 78-page complaint exclusively seen by the Washington Post, guys. So, man, for anybody who's been to China, it's a really sad. It's a really sad thing. So I've been there, not for a long time, but one of the things that one of the you feel like this aura of like a prison. You're like in a prison, but it's an invisible prison.
Correct.
And when you one of the things that stood out to me is I was stuck in my head is because as an American you know what freedom is like, so you have a different mentality, right? You have a different relationship with the government. So for example, when we drive around and you see a police squad car, I don't know what they say in every state, but here they say to protect and serve, right? In other words, they're serving the people and protecting the people, right?
Correct.
So that's the relationship that we have or claim to have anyways, right? What we believe the relationship is. So I need to go to the restroom and I see a police officer, and so I go there, and I'm in a major city. There's no English speaking people there, so it was very difficult, and I don't know Mandarin. So I need to use the restroom, and I'm trying to ask this cop, I'm trying to sign my way, like I need to go to the bathroom. You know what I mean? I'm trying to use signals. I'm trying to act it out, like where's the restroom? And the look that I got from this guy was like he was pissed. I was bothering him. It was kind of like, why are you walking up to me? And then it dawned on me that, wait, I'm in a socialist country where the government is my ruler. This man isn't serving the people. He's here to rule the people. So that's his worldview. So it makes sense that he was not at all interested in helping me at all. You know what I mean? Where was I? How did I even come with this? Oh, so yes, sorry. So I just think to myself that because I come from the outside,
correct.
To me, it's obvious there's a problem here, right? Correct. Like this is crazy. But to the people there, it's normal, right? They don't realize the prison that they're in. It's super interesting, and anybody who's been there, right? It's just weird because not to be disrespectful, but I know if you're Chinese and you're listening to this, you can appreciate what I'm saying. Okay.
Correct.
I've been to the schools there, and in China, they're not taught critical thinking skills. Okay. That's not how they're taught. They are fed information and they just repeat it. Okay. They're given, like when they teach them English, they're just having them repeat words.
Mhm.
Okay. So they don't really even know what the word is. Okay. They're just saying things. So like if you one of the things that we went to elementary school and all the little kids run up to you and they're like, hi, what is your name? Right. And then, but they don't even know what they're saying. That's just what they were taught. My name is this, you know what I mean? So imagine they don't know what it is. And so when you try to respond to them,
Right.
my name is Isaac, right? They don't even, it doesn't click. Okay. That's what I'm getting at. Okay.
Correct.
So there's no critical thinking skills.
Correct. It's
Okay.
like you mentioned. Yeah, it's just like a parrot. You just repeat what you're being told.
You repeat
and you
what
don't know
you've
the
been told.
meaning.
Right.
So therefore it limits the conversation.
So there's
exactly.
right. There's no questioning of anything.
Correct.
Okay. And so when you understand, like, people have been brought up in a society like that, you're not encouraged to think or question. That's what critical thinking takes, right? You have to question something,
Mhm.
analyze it, and come with your own conclusion. That's not a thing. Okay. And so it's just a different worldview. But so for me, it's just so evil. Zuckerberg, these people are evil. Understand what we're talking about here, guys. That Zuckerberg is such a greedy bastard that he wants access to the market, and he's willing to aid and abet and contribute and enable a government to continue to oppress their people. You see what I'm saying, Alfred?
Yeah,
Like
100%.
that's what's going on. Is Zuckerberg is saying, "Hey guys, I will help you oppress your people. I
Mhm.
will help you, you know what I'm saying? Control and maintain power and rule over your people. Whatever you need me to do, I will do as long as you give me access to the market."
Yep. It's
It-
money. Money.
And that's what every company that's there in China, doing business with China, we're basically enabling and helping the regime increase, oppress their people, maintain power
Correct.
and control.
100%.
Okay.
Yep.
And it's terrible. It's a definitely terrible. And I don't know if any of you people if you ever want to YouTube images of Christians in China receiving Bibles, and if you're a believer, and when you watch that, you feel like super
Compassion.
convicted
Yep.
because you're like, man, you know what I mean? Like
we
these
got
people,
like 5 or 6 of
yeah,
them.
you
right
got
here,
like
right?
5
We
or
can't-
6 of
can't
them,
even
and
find the one.
you probably never really open it, right? And these guys, it's like they're being like starving people and they're being handed bread, right? And we know the word of God is the bread of life.
Correct.
But when you watch it, it's pretty amazing and powerful. So as someone who's been there and has met some people involved in smuggling, it's getting Bibles in there and hearing some of the stories from locals, it's when I read this kind of stuff, man, it really bothers me because I'm very supportive of the Chinese people. I'm involved in a lot of things that involves that, and yeah. So for some reason, God's giving me a heart for the people of China. So this really pisses me off, and yeah, we'll see what happens, guys. Let's see what are we going to get the same reaction, Alfred? Are we going to get the same fear mongering, the same concerns?
Of course not.
Right? From the media?
Of course not. Of course not. I mean, come on now. This is something that we've learned over the last, 4 or 5 years. Some of you, you guys saw firsthand, anybody that feeds up to the narrative, they're pretty much, slapping the hand. Nothing gets done. And so, yeah, we're not going to hear anything, man. It's going to be crickets. And, as long as you ain't Elon Musk, man, trying to expose, the narrative of the Democrat Party, or even that of corruption, of government, you're not going to hear anything, a beep, from what's happening with Meta.
Yeah, man. So yeah, guys, that's the show for today. We had a pretty good turnout. I mean, this is our third or second week on
This is our second. This is our second week. Our second week here
our second stream on X.
on X, and
bad.
not bad at all. I mean,
Yeah,
think
not
about it.
bad.
We're getting bamboozled over at the TikTok, man. At
Oh,
TikTok, they're
guys, man. So
taking
check
advantage of
this
us.
out, man. So, guys, I don't know what happened, but you guys listen to this podcast, okay? It was pretty similar conversations, okay?
Correct.
And we got taken down on TikTok, and it was a very vague message. It was
Yeah.
supposedly I was promoting violence or something.
Correct.
I don't know what I said. I have a feeling because I had a similar conversation about the Jays.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If we go
Yeah.
back to this conversation,
Yeah.
but I said the whole word.
Correct.
And I think that's the only thing I can think of, but I wasn't advocating for about it. It was the same thing I was basically talking about
correct. Yeah.
today. The same thing. And
Exactly.
I got taken down, guys. So what's Trump doing supporting TikTok? Take it down.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I still don't have a good explanation as to why in the world are we still on TikTok.
Yeah.
Why is it? But as I mentioned, is man, YouTube people, you guys got to step up your game. YouTube.
Yep. YouTube
Okay.
is. Golly, man. I think
So-
probably a shout out to your sister. I think she's the only
Yeah.
one watching.
Yeah, it's probably you're probably right. Comment if this is my sister. If this is you, one of my sisters, or maybe my cousin.
Yeah. Yeah. Shout
Right,
out to shout out to the Galvez.
Yeah, my cousin on the Galvez side might be the one on there. But we do get some decent views
We do,
after.
we do.
But on the
Afterwards, yeah.
lives, man, guys, this is why if you're on YouTube, if this is my sister or I don't know who you are, you got to share,
Help
like,
us
and
out.
subscribe.
Help us out, everyone.
I see you there. Tell us who you are. Now I'm curious.
Curious.
But
Yeah.
look, I already know it's gonna be, man. This is I need to know. Okay, if this is either my sister, my cousin, one of my sisters, one of my cousins, one of my friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of my friends might be the one on there. You need to fess and confess. But we need to share, or I don't know, somebody on your side there, Alfred.
it could be. It could be, man.
I don't know, but
It could be.
we need to know who it is. But yeah, man, on the X, you
On
got
the X, man. The X are killing it, man. Thank
Yeah.
everybody. Hey, listen, this is the time, man, where we take a little bit of an opportunity to actually thank everyone for joining us. And you guys know that you're following us on the Unrestrained podcast there on X, and we're so grateful and thankful. Now, do us a favor, just go ahead and follow us. I know some of you are just, you probably saw us from one of our, probably a plug, because our team has been putting plugs here and there when we go live on different platforms, conservative platforms. So we want to thank, first of all, I got a group of people. They sent me a list. They want me to thank, actually, the team wants me to thank so many people. I mean, I think, N Wokeness. The N Wokeness page. There's also Gorilla something. They send it in here, man, and we just got a group of people. But next time we're gonna have a list of people where you find us, where you receive that plug, and we want to thank everyone. We want to give everybody for helping us, because at the end of the day, think about it. We're just making a switch from TikTok into X, and we're just communicating you guys some of this stuff that maybe you are already hearing from some of the commentators or even from conservative podcasts. But now you got two Latinos people, man, two Latino guys going in there, man, and just letting you have it, letting you know how it is, man. And so we're so grateful for you to join us. And like I said, if you want to be part of this, go ahead and reach out to us. Send us a private message. We will allow you to come in here and just, and open up the platform for other people, because we do have guests that want to join and want to be part of this. You can call in, or you can join us. We'll send you a private invitation where you can join us and be part of this stream live. Okay, so it's live, so it's not like it's it's being pre-recorded. No, we're completely live. So if you want to be part of it, just hit us up and we'll make contact with you.
All right, guys. So we'll be here again Mondays at 7 is when we go live. Every Monday at 7 o'clock. And yeah, guys, we'll see what we got going on next week. We're still waiting. We're
Yeah.
still waiting on the Epstein
Correct.
files.
Yes.
What the heck's going on, Pat Bondi?
Yep.
You're
13
slacking on it.
days.
Cash,
It's-
I don't know who the problem is, but we need to get to the bottom of it. We're not going to let it go, guys. I'm not letting it go. We want the Epstein file videos,
Correct.
audios. There should be boxes, not just some stupid binder. Okay, just as a reminder, we're gonna keep that. We're gonna keep that going, Alfred. Okay,
100%.
we're not gonna let that story die. We definitely want that. And second to that, 9/11 report, we want that out.
Yep.
But the Epstein list, we
That's
want
the most
not just the
important
list. We have the list. We have the flight log. That's all. That's been out.
yeah,
okay.
that's exactly.
We want client list, and we want videos, audios. We know they were raided.
Yeah.
We know there was raids, and so no, there should be more than a binder. Pat Bondi, you're a suspect right now. Okay.
100%.
You're on the watch list right now. You're kind of on the, what do they call it? You're on the chopping block.
On the chopping block. Yep.
Yep.
Yep. And we just got to call it for what it is. I mean, think about it. When it first came out and they said, hey, we got the list, we got this, and then we got something that we already have gotten before.
Yep.
And now she heavily, think about it. What we received was a heavily retracted,
Was more retracted than the initial time it come out. That's ridiculous.
correct.
Yeah.
It was like heavily retracted, more than
Yeah.
how what we already have seen.
Yeah.
So now it's kind of like, hey, here you
Something's going
here you
on.
guys- yeah, something's going on. So yeah, 100%.
All
We're
right,
gonna stay
guys.
on it.
Yep. So we'll be on it. We won't let it go. We'll see you guys Monday at 7. Thank you, guys.